Okay, guys, we are on chapter 2 of Get Over Your Damn Self. And the name of this author is Rami Newstat, I think is how you say her last name. But I love this book. And last week we talked about why you're here. Or no, last week we talked about why people fail and why it ain't going to be us, right? So this week we're talking about why are you here? And anytime you want to stop me, just start talking because when I'm reading, I can't look to see if you raise your hand or if there's a comment. So just say something. Okay. If you've been in this profession for any time at all, somewhere in your training, you've been asked to figure out your reason why for wanting to build a business. Some say your why has to be big enough to make you cry. Well, I don't know about the crying part, but it's definitely got to be big enough to keep you consistently showing up for your business week after week, month after month. There are so many things in life vying for your time and attention that if you don't really want to do this, you won't. It will never be a priority and you'll stay stuck in an endless, vicious cycle. You're not working on your business because it's not tied to something you really want. You're beating yourself up because you're not working on your business. You're not working on your business because now it's all about guilt and failure because you're beating yourself up for not working on your business. That's not fun or lucrative. In fact, it makes me exhausted just writing about it. Do you know why you want to build a business of your own? I've had so many conversations with team members over the last 5 years who complain that they just can't seem to stay committed to their business and routinely do the income producing activities required to see results. The vast majority of time, when I ask them why they're building their business, their answer was some variation of, I'm not sure. If you can't see it, smell it, taste it, if it doesn't move you deep in your soul, then I promise you it's not enough to keep you committed. When you figure out your why, you've got to share it with your business partner and the rest of your support team, your spouse, your BFF, other family members. They've got to know what it is so they can keep you accountable when it gets hard to keep your eye on the prize. So that I highlighted that, not because it's like a newsflash to any of us, but it was kind of a different reason. Like they're always like, share your why so we know what it is. But to share it, not so that somebody can say, oh, you didn't get that car yet, because we've all been there, right? But so that somebody can say, whenever you're like, I just don't feel like working, and they're like, so how close are you to that car? So that they can encourage you with it, not bring it up to the fact that you haven't done it yet. Because let's face it, if we haven't done it yet, we're well aware that we haven't done it yet. So that just, I was like, oh, a whole different reason to share. I found that interesting. I'm a big believer that your why can't be about money. It can be about what money will do for you, and it has to be deeply personal to you. I've worked with a lot of people who have made their why about other people. Maybe it was their kids or their husband. I'm here to tell you right now that in order to get yourself way out of your comfort zone during the scary, uncomfortable start of your business, your why has to be about you. I was doing training for a portion of our team, and I went around the room asking the women what their why was. When I got to someone who I'll call Maria, she said it was to pay for her kids' college, but there was no fire in her eyes when she said it, just a soft voice coming out of a dipped head and slumped shoulders. I respectfully challenged her. You start your business over a year ago and still aren't showing up consistently to work it. Could it be your reason why isn't enough to get you to do this? Of course it should be. It's my children, she argued. Aha, I said. You think it should be, but it's not. Then I asked her to tell me what she really wanted for herself. As her eyes welled up with tears, she admitted that she really wanted to have something of her very own outside of mom and wife, and to prove to herself that she could accomplish big things. As she said it, something incredible happened. Her voice got stronger, her shoulders moved up and back, and she sat taller. That's your real why, my dear, I said to her as I hugged her. That's what will get you to do this every damn day. Since then, Maria has engaged in her business with a consistent determination that wasn't there before. She's moved past the level she'd been stuck at and has reached a major promotion and pay raise. We women are programmed to do everything for others. But I promise you, building this business for others won't be enough. You need a bulletproof why to get you through the tough times. And that why has to be about you and for you. Being part of something new and fun, filling up your time while the kids are at school, or quelling your fear of missing out on something, while these might be reasons enough to get you to jump in and reach a certain level of success, They're not nearly enough to keep you doing the heavy lifting that is required to build a 6 or 7 figure business. I added on a personal business partner, Pamela Mulroy, after she watched me for months on Facebook and then saw our company's products on the Today Show. At the time, she loved the idea of doing something new and liked the idea of transitioning out of her part-time career. That was enough to get her to the first substantial title in our company and to step away from her day job. But once that goal was met, Pamela didn't have a reason to keep building. Without continued recruiting, she demoted in title. For a couple years, I was unable to extract a reason why she wanted to build this business. But without it, she had no reason to work enough to recapture her title and collect the significant money she left on the table every month, let alone go after the free Lexus that's within her reach. It is possible, however, to have a breakthrough if you can discover a new, more powerful why. Pamela decided she wanted to take a lot of financial pressure off her hardworking husband, Tom, and this new goal ignited a new commitment and dedication to her business. And Pamela is certainly not the only one. Becca O'Leary first started her business to have some adult interaction and something apart from being a mommy. After 2 years of slow growth, she had an epiphany while attending a training event put on by our company. She had been dragged to the event by her sponsor and best friend. She, sorry, Sitting there listening to the success stories, she discovered a new why. I finally got it. I felt so guilty that my husband was carrying all the financial stress for our family. I didn't want to live with guilt. I wanted to feel like I was contributing and playing a role in supporting our family. That's when I made the decision to treat this like a business. It's a why that was big enough for Becca to start running all the way to the top of the pay plan. My dear friend Amy Hoffer first started her business because her teenage girls required less of her time, and this former publishing powerhouse missed meaningful work. The reason she said yes to our company's opportunity was because she didn't want to let it pass her by. While she shot like a stallion out of the starting gate, fear of missing out wasn't enough to keep her business from stalling when life happened. In her case, it was both the fun things that distracted and the heartbreak of losing her father. It was when the stresses of her successful husband Nick's demanding career became intolerable that Amy had a breakthrough epiphany. She was sitting on a gold mine that could give her back the man she married and give her the sense of purpose she craved. That's when Amy attacked her business with an unwavering focus and commitment, leading to large jumps in organizational volume and duplication, and the unparalleled satisfaction of leading a fast-growing team to Lexus earning volume, along with an income that set Nick free and led him to work with her. Together, they've reached the top level in our company and fulfilled by the daily impact they get to have on others. Our whys evolve along with our businesses, and the key to consistent growth and not stalling out is to continually check in with yourself and your priorities. My why started out as a desire to escape the billable jail hour and to create an income that would allow me to earn money even when I wasn't working, passive income. Once I was able to say goodbye to my PR career, I wanted to set John free from the confines of his fee-for-service medical practice. Once that happened, my why became much bigger. For the next 3 years, I saw my third why every time I logged into the back-end business management site of our company provides us. A picture of Nate and Bibi in the bathtub with big smiles on their faces and sparkles of mischief in their eyes with the words, to have the time and economic freedom to show Nate and Bibi all life has to offer, and to teach them to develop their entrepreneurial spirit to reach the highest heights and make the world a better place, and to be a change agent to help others become the best versions of themselves. I had dug deep to come up with this why, and it held true until our income reached 6 figures a month. By then, we had the time and economic freedom to do everything we wanted for our family, and we were helping others do the same. Clearly, Nate and Bibi were learning to develop an entrepreneurial spirit. They were surrounded by proof that if you work really hard at something you're passionate about, that's of value to others, it's possible to have fulfilling work while also having a life. We've had to remind both kids that it's not the norm for all families to have both parents home and accessible nearly all the time, and that perks like we enjoy don't come with a conventional job. The kids' skewed reality really hit home when one night at the dinner table, John and I were talking about a friend who got a promotion at his corporate job. Bibi asked, when's he getting his free Lexus? But if I was going to wake up every day still wanting to build our business, I had to find a new why. It became about others, not just empowering more people to be who they were destined to be, but also about being able to put significant resources toward helping women and children around the world have access to the basics we enjoy every day: full tummies, healthcare, and empowerment programs to step into their greatness. That's enough for me to chew on for years to come, and my husband too, which is why we bound out of bed nearly every day wanting to keep building this sucker. As you think about your why or rethink it, remember that it's okay to be selfish about what you want. That can be a hard mindset shift, especially for women, since we're programmed to be so damn selfless and do so much for others. Yet a lot of the whys that I've talked to you about prove that doing for yourself and doing for others don't have to be mutually exclusive. Deep down, Tracy Willard wanted to be the one to save her family, and Amy wanted to set her husband free. I had the audacity to want it all, for me, for John, and our kids, for those on our team who want to run with us, and for the causes we're passionate about. I think one of the biggest reasons many people can't find their real why, the one that will make them get uncomfortable, stretch and grow, and consistently show up, is because they don't dig deep enough. It really is like peeling an onion. Excuse me. Go ahead and talk.
Good morning, everybody. I'll talk. I'm not afraid.
Good.
I love this only because for anybody that's been in Tupperware more than a month or two, or even 6 months, I know I see a lot that have been in for a long time. Your why does change. You know, I know I see Amy shaking her head, and I know Amy's like huge with that. So, like Lydia too. I see Lydia's head bobbing. But you know, it starts with one reason. I know for myself, it started with one reason, I guess a selfish reason, you know, to make money. You know, I really didn't think about helping other people. And even after 6 years, just recently it shifted again, where you do have these aha moments. And you might say, this is my why. But if you really sit and think about it, it's really not your why. It's your, what is it? What does Pam always say? It's not your why, it's your goal, or it's your, right? It's not reason. Yeah, it's not the reason you do it. So if you've only been in for a little while, it's okay to just say, hey, I want to make an extra whatever money for my family and keep that going. But you will reach a point. This is really true. This book is really true. You reach that point and then you're like, okay, now what? Because not that you plateau, but you just get to maybe your first title and you think, okay, I did that. Okay, that's cool. And you could maybe go into skate mode or in autopilot for a little while, you know. So, you know, I know my why is constantly changing, and it's about to change again, I feel. So it's okay to do that.
I think we have to be careful too that sometimes we don't just, but like I did for a while, I truly did for years. I picked a why to shut people up. They'd be like, what's your why? And I'm like, okay, what's the best one I've heard lately? I'll use that. So, and like for me, and for, I'm looking around some of the other people on this call, we can't do the, I want to put my kids through college. That's not an issue. Or the, I want to help my husband be financially free. Not an issue. So you get to the point where it has to be about you because you're who it's about. And if it's not about you, you're not going to do it. So, and they do say one thing, and she says something in this book that Pam says all the time, which is, I don't love money. I love what money can do. And that was a big block for me. I was like, I was not that person that wanted to make a ton of money, because I think because we'd never had a lot of money. So you don't miss what you never had, right? And I'm like, well, I did fine without a ton of money. What do I need a ton of money for? But now that my kids are older, okay, and I see some of the things that they struggle with not having the money to do it, I would love to be able to have that money to help them. And the other part of that is because my parents and Michael's parents were either deceased or just not in the picture when we got married. We never had that. We never had the, you know, call a family member and see if you can borrow $50 for that tire. We sold something. We were like, you know, what do we not want that's in the house? Because if we sell that, we have enough. And if we sell 2 of them, we can get 2 tires. So, you know, so yeah, that's really started to help me, because for a long time I was like, it's not about any of those things that other people want. And I'm not a big traveler. So people were like, I want to travel the world. And I'm like, no, I want to go to New York. So, but
If anyone else feels like not guilt, but like when we used to all get together in person, I don't remember how many years ago that was, but when we were in person at the studio, I would see these like really fantastic whys, like people are crying and oh my God, I want to help animals around the world. And I want, and I always felt like my why wasn't good enough. It wasn't that, oh my God, people are going to be talking about Lori's why forever. And then I always felt like, okay, well, I'm not going to say I want to, buy a camper because it's terrible when you're out saving the world. I'm going to buy a camper. But that goes selfish stuff right here, right? But it's okay to be selfish. I don't want to buy a camper, but
I want to save Africa. I want a pool in my backyard.
yeah.
I don't like that if that's the case.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's okay to be like that. And I've felt that way. Like they're not going to call me up on stage to tell my why because it's not, it's not what clean.
Not like, yeah.
But it's still very important. And it's still what your why is. So I had to get over that. I did. I over the fact that maybe it's not earth-shattering, but for you and your family, it really is. Even if it is only being able to, I don't know, get a vacation every year. That's huge. It's huge. So if it's huge to you, I feel like it's not as good as Lydia's or Amy's or Jenny's or Eugenia's. That's what I always had to deal with. Oh, hey, Mel or Mel.
Yep. Hello. Hey, I was going to say too that emotion could be something that you want, or maybe my thing is the way I was raised, nothing was ever good enough. It was, if you got a 95, why didn't you get 100? If you got 100, why did you miss the bonus question? Well, it wasn't even a bonus question. Well, now you're back talking, so whatever. But I think like emotions, like you want to prove something to people. Okay, I went through that. I wanted to prove to them that I can be successful. And then when I, was like, isn't this good enough? But my dad to this day still says you need to quit playing and go to work because you went to school for a legal secretary and that's what you need to do. You need to just quit this stuff. So anyways, even though I make more money than ever working than I would have worked for them, it's like, and then I got to the point where, you know what? It's not about them. It's about me. It's about what I can do for me. I'm never going to come to the conclusion. I'm never going to make them happy. I'm never going to be good enough. So why am I trying?
My sister.
So anyways, I think that emotion has a lot to do with it as well. You said about, these big, people want these big things, it doesn't always have to be monetary. I guess I still am very hard on myself as far as, I may look at someone and I think, oh my gosh, they're so successful. And I may do the same thing and I think I'm not successful, even though I did the same thing they did. I am very, very hard on myself. And for me to be where I want to be, for me to get to that ultimate why, it's probably, I don't even know. Sometimes I think one time my brain says, you know what? People can't get to that point. You might as well just give it up, girl, because it's like impossible to get to that point. And I'm like, no, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. So it's like a never ending circle that goes on in my head. I think I need a psychiatrist or something.
Just keep talking here. What we got you.
Yeah, just join book club. We'll work with you. It's okay. We're free.
Yeah.
We're free.
But anywho, yes. So anyways, I do think a lot of it doesn't have to be for somebody else's wise. Not talk about me anymore. I think, like if somebody said, I want to be successful, well, then you got to figure out what your version of success is, so it doesn't necessarily have to be something tangible that you can hold on to. It doesn't have to be, like a camper or a pool or, whatever. Yeah, I think it a lot of times it has to be more personal, more deep, more, psychiatrist. Anyways, that's
Well,
the two
And
cents.
I-
Mel, I think your dad needs a psychiatrist because he's the one that instilled that in you. Just saying. And it does. If you deal with that, if you hear with that all the time, it takes over, and you become very hard on yourself because you're doubting yourself all the time.
Yeah.
I know.
Put him on book club. We'll take care of that. Go,
Definitely. Yeah.
Go ahead, Amy. What were you going to
Yeah,
say?
you were gonna say something,
Um,
Amy.
Yeah, I was. So Mel, I completely understand and agree. And, this really kind of gave me that permission to be like, you know what? It does need to be about me. And for so long, I've tried to make it about somebody else, and it's not doing it for me. And it's that guilt cycle she talked about where it's like, okay, so why isn't it enough for me to, want to be able to give whatever to my family? And I'm very similar in you that I have a lot of garbage in my head. And so what I'm realizing is that it's needs to be about me, not doubting myself anymore, and stopping those naysayers that live in my head rent free, because they shouldn't live there rent free and they need to get out of there. And that is really, for me, that's kind of my New Year's resolution, is to really work more on that, because when I am strong on that, my business is great. When I'm not strong in that, when something has like rocked my world and knocked me down and I'm having a hard time getting back up from it, my business is not where I want it to be. So I'm done. I need to, get right in my head, and I know that the rest will come, and I'll be excited about sharing that, because just in this book club, how many people have just said that they totally relate with what Mel's saying? There are so many people in the world that this could be the solution for that, to help them with those voices that are in their head telling them that they can't, they're not good enough, that they can't do it. And we could be the ones to show them they really can, and to find the confidence and the belief in themselves. Because for me, that belief in myself, I've got a little, she's not so little anymore. I've got somebody watching me, and, she's taking on my beliefs, whether I realize it or not. And so I've got to believe in myself so she can believe even stronger in herself. So she's standing here looking at me.
Well,
Throw
you're
the
not-
cats out of the
She
bag.
doesn't like it when I talk
Don't talk
her.
about me. Don't talk about me to those women. What's wrong with
I
you?
know.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, now she's crossing her arms at me.
We love you, Charlotte.
Jenny says she loves you.
You know what I think? I think that they always, a wise man once said, talk to yourself, don't listen to yourself. And that's exactly what you need to do. You need to talk to yourself. Don't listen to what your mind is telling you about, what you can and can't do. And the great thing about Champion and every single organization out there in Champion, when you maybe don't believe in yourself, there's someone else that does. So when you don't believe in yourself, look to those people that believe in you, because there are many. And if it's not your person right above you, if it's not the person that brought you in, look to the side, because there is always someone. Wasn't that good, Jenny? You like that?
That's good.
There's someone that does believe in you, right?
I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
there is always
us.
somebody watching as well. Somebody's always
Yes.
watching,
Yeah.
Doesn't have to necessarily be a, child, or, it could be a
Yes.
peer. Yeah. So there's always someone watching. So yeah, even though my standards are so flipping high, it's not crazy. One day I will reach that goal.
Well, the thing is like a lot of you guys have younger kids, but some of you have older kids. My kids are all between 30 and 40, which kind of makes me gag, but they are anyway.
I don't know how that's possible since
I-
you're only 30 yourself. I don't get that.
I don't understand, but they're still watching.
They are. Yeah.
They are still watching. And Mel, my kids had the same attitude about Tupperware as your dad does. They were like, the first thing one of my kids said was, please don't put that stuff on Facebook. I was like, don't look. But you know, but as I started doing other things, and one of the things that first struck my kids were the people in Tupperware, the friendships, the things that came about, like people they never knew. And all of a sudden, whenever I really needed friends, when things were happening in my life that I needed people, they were coming out of the woodwork. And my kids were like, who are these people? And I said, oh, they're the people that you don't want me to hang around because they don't have real jobs.
We're all just faking it.
we're all just on Zoom going, yeah, we're working. I put on a shirt. I'm gonna read.
So okay, hang on. In the chat, Gina said, Mel, it's so true that your why can be internal struggle. That's why it's like peeling an onion, lots of layers to go through if it's personal. Christy Jackson said, agree. I never felt good enough. I love that Tupperware has helped me believe in myself. And Stephanie said, I struggle with myself every day. I am my hardest critic. So it's like everybody has a lot of the same things that we go through. So it's great to know that you're not alone. It really is. And you know,
Well,
there's
like
other
when
people
Lori
doing the
said, you
same
have
thing.
to talk to yourself, not listen to yourself. Because if you listen to what's inside your
Yes,
head,
absolutely.
I can almost promise you that what's inside your head isn't anything you've put in there. It's, for me, it's 61 years of people telling me good things and bad things and nonsense. But for some reason, the bad things stick a whole lot deeper than the good things. Like all the people that said, oh, you're doing a really good job. The 3 people at the same time that went, you're an idiot. You know, that's what sticks. That's what I remember. So you have to kind of get over that. And which is not like a 45-minute process, guys. So,
I love
don't-
that, Jenny.
you know,
And if those people were family that are putting you down and saying the negative things, it really does stick because it's more personal and it hits harder.
What, you know what that reminds me of? I know, sorry, Jenny, we need to get back to the thing.
you're good.
But Pam always tells that story. I think about what you said, Lydia, about family or friends. And Pam always says, she tells that story. It's not her story, it's someone else's, but I don't know whose, about the crabs in the bucket. And when the crabs are in the bucket
Oh yeah.
and they're get out of the bucket, right? They're climbing up the side and the ones down below are pulling down at them, trying to pull them down.
Yep.
Because if they can't get up, they don't want them to get up, right? That's kind of what it is. And, you know, I tell people on my team when they first come in, they're excited. And, you know, then their mom and their sister and their aunt and everyone they know, nobody wants to buy any Tupperware. No one wants to have a party. No one wants to do anything. That's not uncommon. Doesn't make them bad people. It's something within sometimes other people where maybe secretly they don't want you to succeed. Not because they're mean or because they don't like you, but it's something they're reflecting off themselves. I believe. Maybe it's not true, but that's what I believe. If there's your sister's a naysayer, you know, maybe she's just negative in life, but maybe part of it is like, wow, I don't want to see her succeed because I'm not everything that I can be, you know? You know, in business, I think this type of business brings
True.
up all of these insecurities that we all have. Because in order to succeed in this business, you're a special person to succeed in this business. I believe that. And anybody that stays in longer than 6 months, you're a really special person and you have what it takes to make it in this business. You know, that's firmly what I believe. And we're an elite group. You know, we've got that mindset. Sometimes you don't think you do, but we do. We have that mindset that makes this business work.
I think as soon as you can start to realize that somebody else succeeding in this business doesn't have anything to do with your success, so that you're allowed to be happy for them, because so many of us work so many jobs where if somebody else did really good, that meant we weren't going to get the raise or we weren't going to get whatever it was we were after. in this business, we can all get it. Everybody gets to play and it doesn't matter. So it's great because, it's just, it's nice to be able to be in a position where you can be genuinely happy for somebody else that is going after the same thing you're going after, because everybody can do it. It's not like one person steps up to director and then nobody else is allowed. One person steps up to director and they're like, let's do this. I just did that. You could do this. Let's do this. So yeah, I think it's so much of it's mindset. It's just,
And the other thing, as you're climbing,
Very true.
the other thing that people say, which is true, comparison is the thief of joy. So don't compare yourself to Susie, who came on at the same time and is now, an elite diamond leader. You have to focus. I don't know. That's the first thing that I thought
that's
of.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah. But travel your path and travel your journey, and always be happy where you're at, and look back. Those days that you're feeling like, oh my God, I've accomplished zero. You've accomplished something. So find those things, and give yourself a big pat on the back, because you've made it a lot farther than a lot of other people in any other company. So I don't know. It's hard not to compare yourself, but like Jenny said, everybody can reach the highest point in Tupperware, except for president. They only have one of those at a time. But
I don't think I want to be president of Tupperware.
no, I wouldn't want to either.
That's not my why at all. Not even close. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Let's see what else she thinks. So I think one of the biggest reasons many people can't find their real why, the one that will make them get uncomfortable, stretch and grow, and consistently show up, is because they don't dig deep enough. It really is like peeling an onion. When you explore your why, keep asking yourself, why is that? For example, one of our business partners first declared that she wanted to earn more money. I started peeling. Why is that? So she could build an emergency fund. More peeling. Why do you want an emergency fund? To know she's safe. Why will that make you feel safe? Because the last time she was married, her husband left her with nothing, and in her current marriage, she could be left in the same awful situation. So I'm hearing that your real why is to make sure that you can always take care of yourself and put the power of your future in your hands. Is that right? Yes, she said as she cried. Simply wanting to earn more money wasn't going to be enough to get this very busy working mom to consistently show up in spite of inevitable challenges. But her real why is powerful enough. And as a result, she's on her way to building something that will make her feel safe and empowered. Another reason people can't figure out their why is because they've stopped dreaming. It's so easy to get mired in what is that we stop dreaming about what could be. Or if you haven't stopped dreaming, maybe you've stopped believing it's possible to actually realize your dreams. If you don't believe it can happen, you don't dare go for it, let alone dream about it. No matter what stage your life or business it is in, isn't it time you gave yourself permission to dream again? Isn't it time you let yourself believe those dreams can come true? I'm living proof, as are thousands of people on our team, that whatever your dreams are, because this profession offers so much, you should be dreaming bigger. So what is it you want for you? That's your why. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Once you know your reason why, then you've got to get goals that will lead you to achieving your why. Now, there are effective and ineffective ways to set goals. The effective way is to take a big goal, the elephant, and break it down into bite-sized steps to make it more doable. At this point, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the tried and true gold standard of goal setting that transcends network marketing. I don't know who came up with this, but SMART goals are where it's at. Your goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. A specific goal has a much greater chance of being attained than a general one. And when you break your specific goal down into bite-sized steps, it has an even better chance of being achieved. To set your specific goal, answer the 3 W questions. What do I want to accomplish? When do I want to accomplish it? Why do I want to accomplish it? For example, a general goal would be, I want to earn back my investment. But a specific goal would be, I want to earn back my investment by the end of my first full month, so I have a powerful first month story and can pay my credit card balance. So for those of you that joined for the $15, go for it. Get that investment back, ladies. A measurable goal can be measured. For example, if you've got $1,500 in credit card debt that you want to pay off, A goal must be achievable. And what I love in our profession is that pretty much every goal you come up with can be achieved with consistent hard work. Setting realistic goals is important because while you can achieve most anything you set your mind to, you've got to be realistic about how long it will take you. This depends on how much time you're willing and able to spend on your business. For example, if you have a goal of replacing your $10,000 monthly salary in 6 months, but you're only willing or able to carve out 6 hours a week for your business, it's probably not going to happen on that timeline. But don't let this discourage you from making stretch goals. Those are different than unrealistic ones. This business grows fast when you keep making stretch goals for yourself and your team. What's the worst that could happen? You shoot for the moon and land among the stars? Not too shabby. Of course, you must make your goals time bound because a goal without a timeline is just a dream. When you're working on a deadline, your sense of urgency increases, which will reduce procrastination and will get you to the finish line that much quicker. While your why can't be just about the money, monetary goals are a tangible way to measure your progress and to track how effectively you're advancing your business and getting to your why. I happen to have been personally driven by a combination of monetary milestones and running after the incentives provided by our company. Dangle an incentive, cash, trip, bling in front of me to run for, and come hell or high water, I'm going to get it. Your company likely designs the incentives to get you to do the business building that helps you advance an income and title. So when you have the chance to run after an incentive, just do it. Make it a goal and put a visual representation of the incentive in a place where you'll see it often. I'm a big believer in the power of writing down your goals and declaring them in as public a forum as you can possibly bear. This makes them real, and a public declaration makes you accountable like nothing else. It's also the next step in actually believing that it's possible, and that belief can make it so. Okay, I may be getting a little woo-woo, but I've seen this happen too many times for myself, my husband, and members of our team not to be a believer. So just stay with me. According to Pam Grout in E Squared, we can manifest anything we want simply by setting the intention. As Grout writes, when you throw a tennis ball in the air, you can count on it coming back down. Intention is just like the tennis ball. It comes back just the way you send it out. How else could we explain the power of the dream board, which I highly recommend?
Jenny, hang on a second.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
that's so true because that's like that, The Secret. I don't know if you guys, that was like a big thing a few years back. I think people are like, you know, well, that's not true. That's not, but you know, that saying, what you think about comes about. It's totally true, you know, and I, you know, even though I would say that, I have people saying, well, you can guess who, saying things like, okay, then how come you're not wishing to win the lottery? Well, you know, you have to be within reason or whatever. So, but I think it's so true. You know, if you sit and tell yourself day after day, you know, no, I'm not anything, and no, I don't deserve this. No, I don't, I can't do it. I can't, you're not going to, you know, but if you sit and tell yourself and talk to yourself and have a conversation with yourself saying, I can do this. I am able to do this. I can be just like her, or I can be, you know, I can achieve that just like she did. You know, I just have to work at it. I just have to focus. You know, I think a lot of it is, what do I want to say? A lot of it is about focus, I guess, because I think a lot of times we say, you know, well, because of our circumstances, I know what I've went through. It's like, okay, I can't achieve that because of this or this. And I'm like, no, daggone it, that's not true. I can do this. And so I can't do it if I'm sitting here talking to myself. So I need to get busy. So a lot of times we're sitting there and we're focused on something and we say we want it, but we don't do. So I think once you just got to tell yourself, I want it and I'm going after it and this is how I'm going to get it, and then do it instead of just saying you're going to do it. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Yes, we understand you perfectly, which is kind of
Yes.
frightening, but okay.
So very scary. We understand everything you're saying there, Melanie.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question, Jenny?
Yeah.
Can you tell me, please? I don't have the book. Can you tell me the three? It was, what do I want to accomplish? When do I want to accomplish it? And what was the third?
Why do I want to accomplish it?
Talk fast. I can't write that fast.
Shorthand. Remember whenever they used to teach shorthand in school?
Yeah, I never took that. Thank you.
Yup. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I
Yep.
was say, Julie, the other thing, am I off mute? I can't tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure you write down a goal without a timeline is just a dream. And remember back for those that have been in when that's on page 33, when Julie Monty was our regional, and we used to go to Columbus for manager meetings, for leader meetings. And I just saw some pictures pop up on my timeline actually when we went to Columbus with a lot of you that I see on here. But I really, really remember even after almost, going on 7 years, we would do these meetings. And I remember the very first one that Dwayne and I went to right after we joined the business. So we joined in September, we showed up in January. And I think we were already managers. But when you're manager, you're like, okay, well, I want to be director, right? And Julie, we had these discussions, and Julie would be like, okay, well, what do you want to do in this business? I'm like, well, I want to be director. Next thing right out of her mouth was, well, when? And I'm like, well, soon. And she's like, but no, when? So she wanted a month. So I would give her a month. And maybe I didn't accomplish that month, but there was a time when I gave her a month and I accomplished that. So even if you think that that's not doing anything for you, it's putting it in your mind. So when you speak it to someone, find someone to speak it to your upline or speak it to your accountability partner, but speak what your goals and intentions are with a timeline. And I guarantee it's going to stick. It's going to stick in your own head, even when you don't know it. But that sticks in my head. And it was Julie Monty telling all the time she'd see me. So when are you going to be a director, Lori? When? What month? But that's the timeline. That it works. This lady who writes this book, she knows what she's talking about, Romy. So, yep.
Oh, we were talking about, okay, dream boards. Okay. What else would explain the power of the dream board? Which I highly recommend you do and encourage all members of your team to do also. That's like our pillowcase rally that we just did. I have so many examples of pictures of goals and dreams pinned to a cork board that end up coming reality. Like the picture of a boat on the azure blue water that was pinned to the goal board of my dear friend and business partner, Bridget Kavanaugh. An almost identical picture appeared 5 years later in the brochure for a trip we earned to Greece. If you like the sound of all this and you want to tap into your inner woo-woo, E Squared is the next book you should read after you completely devour this one, of course. With each bite-sized SMART goal achieved, your confidence builds. If my first SMART goal was to earn 6 figures or retire John from clinical medicine, it would have certainly been too much to bite off. I would have choked on that elephant. But I could focus that first year on smaller incremental goals, reaching out to 3 new people a day, bringing 3 three-way calls a week into my upline, adding new business partners and customers every single month, paying the mortgage, then hitting the first significant promotion, then matching my PR consulting income, then beating it, then earning an incentive trip to the wine country, then earning top recruiter award at our company's convention, then matching John's income. If you ask Tracy if she started her business thinking about earning a shiny new Lexus and moving back to her native Southern California to live by the beach, she'd tell you absolutely not. I had to start with putting food on the table, making more money than my teaching job was paying so I could quit and spend more time on my business and with my girls. Then she focused on getting out of debt. Amy Bird, another close friend and 7-figure earner on our team, had a clear escalation of goals leading to achieving her why of a lucrative career that could provide her complete flexibility to be with her 2 monkeys. That's what she calls her adorable son and daughter. When she started her business, Amy's immediate goal was to earn a return on her investment in her first 30 days because she needed the room back on her credit card. Finances were that tight for this former pharmaceutical rep and her real estate agent developer husband. Amy's longer-term goals were time-bound, but the timelines got shorter as things went from bad to worse with the land development projects her husband was involved in, and her family of 4 found themselves living in her parents' basement. Once she hit that first major promotion, she then shifted her goals to walking the walk for her team. I wanted to show my team that advancement in title, promotions, trips, cars were attainable. If I could do it, they could do it. The flexibility still allowed Amy to guard her most precious asset, time with her kids, as she worked her way out of the basement and into a beautiful new home and among the ranks of the very top leaders in our entire company. John and I have both learned that while we need to set a goal and work toward it, that's not where our day-to-day focus should be. Instead, we focus on the process of reaching the goal. For example, if your goal is to add 3 new business partners a month, Ask the universe or whomever or whatever you ask of to bring more people into your life who you can share this with. Asking sets your intention. And then take advantage of every opportunity that presents itself to share about your business and your products or services. Every time you run into someone picking up your child from school, the friendly stranger you're sitting next to at the restaurant. Don't worry, we'll talk about how to do this the right way later on. The long lost friend you noticed in your newsfeed on Facebook. Share with everyone the universe brings into your life. Because if you have enough conversations, you'll find the people who want to become your customers and those who want to join you in the business. Fall in love with the process and it will lead you to achieve your goals. When 12 months from now, if you've stayed focused, you'll look back on all you've accomplished, how much you've grown, and I expect you'll have developed a real love for the journey. How badly do you want it? This is what separates the talkers from the doers. It's one thing to say you want to build a business, identify your why, and set goals that will get you there. It's a whole nother can of tomatoes to actually build it. The how badly you want it loops back to your why. Again, it's got to be big enough that you're willing to give up things like TV. I didn't watch television for the first 2 years of my business unless I was on a piece of cardiovascular equipment. People magazine. Yes, even in the bathroom, I was reading professional and professional development. Cooking every night. I came to love the concept of meal assembly, so I must give a huge shout out to Costco. You've also got to get buy-in from the people who share your life, like your husband and your kids. As we've already established, growing a 6- and 7-figure business takes consistency and talking to people every single day, because not everyone you bring on board will be coachable or have a strong enough why to keep them motivated. You'll have team members who do nothing, and you'll have others who quit. This is a business of attrition. It's a numbers game. If you're not personally adding at least 2 new business partners a month, you're not insulating yourself from the attrition. So you're actually contracting and not expanding. You may feel like you want to quit, but you've got commitment to work 18 to 24 months as hard and as smart as you can. As I was building my business in those first 2 years, I kept telling myself this famous quote, author unknown: entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. I like that a lot. This how bad do you want it question is really about pain and pleasure. As humans, we avoid anything that feels like pain and instantly take action toward things we believe will make us feel good or that will give us pleasure. Now, you can certainly view spending time building your business, learning how to talk to people, and taking no's and disappointments as painful. But what if you could coach yourself and others to wire your brain to link pain to not taking action in your business and massive pleasure into taking action? I'm talking about working with the deepest part of your subconscious. Yes, it's getting deep now. Stay with me. Has it ever felt like lifting 500 pounds to pick up your 5-ounce smartphone and call people? Or to say 5 words to start a conversation with the person next to you in line at Starbucks? If so, you simply need to rewire your brain so that not taking action is extremely painful, and taking action lights you up inside. When you do, you'll find you don't have to rely on sheer willpower as much. You simply want to do it. Now you may be thinking, Romy, you said you're an OBS kind of girl, but this sounds like a whole lot of horseshit to me. I was born and raised in Montana, and I assure you, I know horseshit from a mile away, and this ain't it. You can rewire your brain. It's a scientific fact. There was even a phenomenal article in the Wall Street Journal summarizing that personal development guru Tony Robbins and others have been teaching for years. It just took neuropsychiatry a little longer to catch up. The article said, the mainstream view in neuroscience and medicine today is that the living brain is actually neuroplastic, meaning that its circuits are constantly changing in response to what we actually do out in the world. As we think, perceive, form memories, or learn new skills, the connection between brain cells also changes and strengthens. Far from being hardwired, the brain has circuits that very rapidly form, unform, and reform. Holy crap. Are you getting how amazing this is and what it can mean for your business and your life? The brain constantly changes based on what we think and do. We can change how our brains are wired. This opens up a whole new spectrum of possibilities, doesn't it? I'm going to help you wire yourself or rewire yourself for success. I'm going to have you do an exercise that I had a group of my team members do in my coaching series. In doing so, you'll be training your brain that the pleasure you seek is in doing the work to build your business and reaching your why. And the pain that you, humans, so desperately want to avoid is in not doing the work to build your business and reach your why. After you do your homework, we'll hit the next chapter. You'll get a break from woo-woo for a bit as we focus on a skill you've been honing since you were a kid writing to Santa. I know you're intrigued, but do not move forward until you've done your homework. Be coachable. Jeez. So the action plan, guys, okay? And like this action plan, I've read this book before. I didn't do the action plan. Just because I thought, yeah, but how bad do you want it? Are you willing to take the action to do it? Okay. We get on this call for an hour on Mondays, but you got a whole week in between now and next Monday at 9:30 to get this done. The sooner you start, the more you can rewrite it, because that'll happen.
Oh man, there's homework
There's homework.
this week.
I'm going to read the homework for people like Julie that don't have the book, right? So
Does somebody have a clean copy? Because I've already, if somebody's got a clean copy, take a picture maybe and put it, where do we put stuff? Where does this recording go? Wherever this recording goes, somebody
in the cloud.
in the cloud.
In the cloud.
Take a picture, put it in the cloud.
Okay.
If someone could take a picture before they mark it up.
Okay. So please take out a notebook or journal and answer the following questions. Side note, I did some cleaning of my stuff the other day. I probably have more notebooks and journals than staples. So if anybody needs one, let me know. I got you covered because I love notebooks. I love journals. I have every journal I've ever had since high school. Great story sometime. My kids found them in the attic one time, gave them 2 days of reading pleasure and made my life living hell for about 3 weeks. They were like, Mom. And I was like, where'd you find us? Yeah. So be careful what you store away. All right. Number 1, what is your why? Remember to peel the onion to get to your real why. 2, why is this so important to you? Get really specific here. How do you see this changing your life, affecting your family, helping you get where you want to be long term? 3, if you don't achieve your why, what's the pain you'll experience? In other words, what's the cost you'll pay in your life by not taking action to build this business? Really flesh out this part. What will you and your family miss out on in life? And how will this affect your confidence and your self-esteem? 4, look ahead 5 years into the future. If you don't achieve your why, where will you be and what will you have given up? All because you didn't follow through and take action on what was important. Read this every day for 3 weeks. I found it really helpful to read it first thing in the morning, even before my feet hit the floor, to help set my intention for the day. You may decide to do it before you go to sleep. Doesn't matter when you do it, as long as you do it every day for 21 days. Who's in?
Then I'm in.
What's today's date? The 18th, right?
The 18th.
All right, I'm keeping track on this.
What's
thing.
21 days, Lori? Donna's in. She's got a thumbs up.
Me.
Me,
21
me.
days from
Christy.
today.
21 days from today is what? Did you figure that out? February something.
Something.
I'm
Oh,
in.
very smart.
That's good. That's good, Jen.
Galaxy 10 is in. She's not going to tell us who she is, but she's in.
Who's Galaxy 10? Come on, tell us who you are. What about Melissa?
already-
Did
she
you
already
type in the
said.
chat?
It was
Was it Lisa? Because I thought they said
Yeah.
it wasn't Lisa.
it says Lisa Gray, not good at Zoom at all.
Oh, okay.
She
Oh,
just
good.
doesn't
Okay,
know how to
Lisa.
change her name.
You're fine. We're good. As long as we know who you are.
I'm in.
Julie's in.
Who's in? Okay.
Is Melissa in? I didn't hear Melissa. She's probably figuring out how to unmute her phone. She's watching from.
It's a process.
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, back in the day when I first started, you were instructed to walk up to complete strangers and start a conversation, as in, you want to join my team or whatever. But so I was in, first time I ever did it, I walked up to someone and I said, hey, I'm with Tupperware and I wanted to see if you wanted to see a catalog or something to that effect. I don't know what I said exactly, but I said, hey, I'm with Tupperware. And as soon as I said that, she interrupted me and said, I don't want to have anything to do with Tupperware. Get out of my face. And she was like, really? Okay. So it was like, in my mind, I could have shrank away, which I probably would have done. But on the other hand, it was kind of like, I liked Tupperware so much that I was kind of offended. So it's kind of like a friend. And, you know, like if your friend, if somebody offends your friend, you're going to take up for them. So I kind of went, I stood there a minute and she went on to her car. Well, then I guess I stalked her because I went back to her car and I said, wait a minute, I don't mean to be rude, but why do you hate Tupperware? Is it the Tupperware itself? Did somebody offend you? What, and so she told me a story about a consultant that had her defectives, didn't turn them in. She never seen or heard from her again, whatever. But anyways, from that day forward, after having a conversation with her, and that's been, oh my gosh, I'm gonna say 15 years ago, she still is a good customer of mine. So, you never know. And you have to be determined to get where you want to go. Don't just let someone say something and then you take it to heart. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I think every time I think about that and people saying no, I think about those poor people that have those stupid robo phone call things. And I'll answer the phone and I go, hello. And you have to say hello twice because they're on 14 different calls and they have to wait to see if somebody answers. And then they'll go, hello, this is John. I'm calling with senior medical benefits. And my first reaction is to just click hang up. And then I'm like, dude, this is what they're doing to make money. And I used to sell things like that on the phone. I did Olin Mills picture packages, family picture packages. And people would be so rude and they would hang up. And every once in a while, you'd get that person didn't want it, but their mother had taught them better. So they would be like, no, thank you, but thanks for calling. And so that's what I try to do to these people now with the senior medical benefits. First thing I do is say, I'm not old enough for that because I'm not quite yet. So I'm going to carry that on for the next few years. So I can't say it anymore. But then, or my favorite one now is when they want to call me with cheap car insurance, because now I go, oh, I don't pay for car insurance. And the other day, this guy goes, that's illegal, right? It's like, I said, no, my company pays for my car insurance. And he said, what company is that? So I actually talked to him for a few minutes, but I really try whenever they call to not just be rude because it's hard. And, like they tell us we have to talk to 10 people to get one yes. Those people are talking to 100 people to get somebody that doesn't hang up on them. I mean, not even
That's
yes or
true.
no, just click.
That's
So-
true.
I do the same thing with customer service. I try really hard. I am, and I can honestly say this, I am never rude to anyone in a customer service because we are in customer service and we all know what it feels like to have our customers scream at us up through this pandemic about shipping or about this or about that, but we're just doing the best that we can. So when you call up a company, not just Tupperware, I'm always very nice to Tupperware. I don't care who I'm talking to, but any company, I am never rude because you know what? They're doing their job. They're doing the best that they can. So, have a little grace. And I know sometimes it's frustrating. And there are times that I get excited and I might raise my voice and vent, but then I quickly come back and say, I'm so sorry. I know this isn't what you did, but I just
Not your fault.
frustrating. And they're like, oh, it's so fun. It's great, but I am never rude to customer service people because
I'll tell you another group of people we all need to make a mental note to be pleasant to right now
Yes.
is the people at the post office.
Oh,
Those
please.
people
Yes.
had 8 weeks from hell.
Yes.
And it's not getting any better because there's still a ton of stuff that they haven't gotten out. And those poor people that are at the desk that are selling you the stamps and weighing your packages, it's not them. And they can't help it that they're going to tell you Priority Mail should get there by Wednesday, but we're not guaranteeing anything until March. I mean, it seriously is about what they're saying. So
Right. And it's a big, it's a big trickle effect. Just because the new year turned over, this pandemic we're dealing with didn't go away.
No.
And the trickle down effect of everything has an effect and a reaction. So just,
And if you guys wonder what I'm doing when I'm doing this, I am not doing aerobic
is there
exercise.
a fruit fly? Fruit fly?
No. Come here, Banjo. Come here, Banjo. 1, 2, 3. Come here.
Oh, Banjo.
Ashley, Banjo. Come here. Come here. You have to see this dog. Come here. 1, 2, 3. Come here, Banjo. Come here. He's so confused. Wait. Banjo.
There isn't really a dog there. Jenny's losing her mind in the basement there.
I think so. I think that's what it is.
Banjo, I got
It's,
the ball.
it's because she's been talking to herself instead of listening to herself. Now
Yeah.
she's talking to imaginary things.
Well, he loves to play ball and he can't play it upstairs because there's too many people and the wood floors. He slides and scratches. So come here, Banjo. Come
Is it really a dog? I'm
Banjo,
starting to
1,
doubt
2,
her.
come here.
Can you imagine Jenny being down there playing with her imaginary dog?
It's
Throwing the ball and then going to get it.
Like, you're out of your freaking mind. I don't want to be on TV.
Turn the screen so we can see this dog. So we can see this dog, Jenny.
Yeah, just
Look, hang
move
on.
your computer.
Aw.
Aww.
See, isn't it
There's the
cute?
dog.
Hi, Banjo.
And he's fun. But he wants to play ball the whole time he's here, so I just keep picking it up and throwing it down.
Oh,
It's part of my therapy.
Oh, my- So I picked,
hey, we all have something.
That's right. Oh, all right, guys.
I posted a picture of our action plan. I posted a picture of our action plan on Champion.
On Champion. See, and maybe that'll make people want to get on too to find out what's happening. So
Isn't this a
That's
great
my
book,
thought.
though?
This is
book
good
is
book.
awesome.
Yeah.
yes.
I
It
love
is,
it.
absolutely.
I got all my stickers. Look at, I do old fashioned.
Did we figure out when 21 days was? Did anybody get that?
Oh, do you want me to get a calendar? Oh, wait, I got a calendar right here. Give
You
me,
got a phone, you got a computer. There has to be a calendar somewhere.
talk amongst yourselves.
Talk
Okay.
amongst yourselves. La 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 la.
3 weeks, 20, 1, 2,
Yeah, February 8th.
yeah. February 8th is 3 weeks. So
Okay. So,
31 days in January. So yeah.
Yep. all right. So, but do write it down. Write it. Just get a notebook and write it down. See what happens.
Yep. February 8th is the deadline. So every day, read this.
Every day between now and then. While you're having coffee. I'm not doing it before I get out of bed. I don't even focus before I get out of bed, but somewhere about cup 2, I will read this again. All right, ladies, thank you so much. And we'll see you next Monday for chapter 3. At least it's not hard to keep track of where we're at because we're only getting through 1 chapter a week. So,
There's so much information in one
Yeah.
chapter. It's just crazy.
and apparently we like to talk. I like to talk. So,
Mhm.
So do I. So
I know.
we're all in the right place.
Well,
it's
there's a
like
lot,
therapy
there's a lot to
session, too,
talk
so
about
it's
in this.
good.
there is. There really is. So, okay, guys, and see you. What's tonight? Monday. Okay, so tonight is Hot Topic. Tomorrow night's
Correct.
the cooking class.
Correct.
Wednesday night is
Leaders
week 12.
meeting at 8.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Um,
every Monday, right?
Yes.
So leaders or potential leaders this
Yeah.
tonight at 8, and then hot topic at
Hot
9.
Topic at 9,
Tomorrow is cooking with Tupperware, so invite your guests.
right? Host and guest. And then
Yes.
Wednesday is week close. Directors, Wednesday morning is our call. I say that because I live
He
here and I
forgets.
forget. I wake up at 8:45 and think,
At least you don't wake up at 9:15 and go.
that doesn't happen. But yeah, so
And
anyway,
then Thursday is Tupper Thursday.
Thursday, yes. And Friday, you're still reading
Yes.
this thing every day. So there you go. All right, guys. Thanks. It's been fun. Have an awesome Monday.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a great week.